what does that really mean? What's a simpler way of saying that? It's a swing, right? It's written in 4/4, so it's really just kind of a swing tune. Because what is 12/8? How do you subdivide 12/8? Like, what's the general subdivision?
4 sets of 3.
I'm sorry?
4 sets of 3.
Yeah. So what's a way of saying 3?
Triplets.
Triplets, right? So it's essentially 4/4 triplets, right? Which is basically what swing is, because you're taking eighth notes and you're what we call tripletizing them, right? You're putting the downbeat on the first eighth note on the downbeat, and you're putting the second eighth note on the li or the let or whatever you like to call your third triplet. One la, li, two la, la. Okay. So, all right. So Basie recorded this. Have you guys listened to the original recording? Okay, good. Yes, I see you looking at your director. Nice job. All right, we talk a lot about that because the first thing you need to do as a group is sit down and listen to what we call the reference recording, right? So whoever recorded the original version, even if it's not exactly the same arrangement, it would be good to listen to the original band play it, okay? Count Basie's band essentially developed the style. They defined it, okay? So it's a great place to start from. So saxophones, you guys have the melody, right, at 5.
Yeah.
So like, it might be a little too fast, okay? So the alto solo, right? Let me hear you just play that really quick, okay?
These were the trumpets too.
Yeah, I just want to hear just you just for a second. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1. Okay. So you play the right notes in the right rhythm. Okay. But the notes and the rhythms isn't the jazz. I call it the jazz, right? That's not what the jazz is. What's the jazz?
The feel.
What do you mean?
Style.
Be more specific.
Like scooping up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe
articulation.
yeah, mainly that scoop and the volume too.
Yeah.
Okay, I was kind of going through and just looking at mouthpieces really quick, and I don't want to turn this into a saxophone clinic, but he's the only one playing a jazz mouthpiece in the section, and that really does matter. I was just telling Dr. Guidi on his way out, like my thing, the way I explain jazz mouthpieces versus classical mouthpieces, you guys know that there's a distinction, right? So it's like playing jazz on a classical mouthpiece is like trying to play basketball in dress shoes. You can do it, but it sucks. And it's really uncomfortable when you're gonna get blisters, you know, and you're probably gonna slip and slide and fall, and it's not gonna work out. You'd probably be better off playing barefoot and getting stomped on. So they make basketball shoes for playing basketball. Well, you're in jazz band, if you can afford it. Actually, the mouthpiece he has is great. It's pretty inexpensive. I don't know if you remember, like around $100 or which sounds like a lot of money, but like this one's 600, so you don't need anything like that. All right, so anyways, you can get a pretty inexpensive mouthpiece, and then what kind of reeds are you using on?
The Dario Select.
Good, that's what I'm playing on. So yeah, so you're using jazz reeds on a jazz mouthpiece. That's what that's what everybody should be doing. And why? Because it gives you a lot more dynamic range and a lot more flexibility. So let me see if I can transpose this right. Okay, so by the way, who was the lead alto player in the Count Basie Orchestra? Do you know? Okay, this would be good to know. If you're playing a Basie chart, everybody in this band should know whose part you're playing. You're playing Marshall Royal is his name. Okay, and you are Marshall Royal right now. Okay, I'm gonna try to be Marshall Royal on tenor, which is a little weird, but he would go 2, 4, 5. I feel like I'm totally playing wrong notes. No, that seemed sort of right. Okay, trying to transpose is really up high. Anyways, like you hear like just that's the jazz. It's not da, 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 da. That would be concert band, right? So and I know you know that, but doing it is another thing. And when you're doing it right, you're gonna feel like you're completely overdoing it. because it's gonna seem wrong to you, because it's not what you're used to. But so you should go home, put on YouTube, find this original version with Marshall playing that, and listen to that first 4-bar phrase. And the trumpets, same thing, right? And I feel bad because I don't necessarily know the trumpets by name as well as I know the sax players. I'm a sax player. But you should do the same. Everything I'm telling the saxophones, it applies to everybody, right? So you want to go home and go, da, 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 like listen to that 1 bar, like 10 times, and then turn it off, and then play it. And you will immediately just naturally sound more like that, because you'll have a different concept in your ear, okay? Now, one more little thing about the mouthpiece thing is if you're not using jazz mouthpiece, they're not designed to be flexible. You know how much I'm bending that note? I mean, I'm getting it down a whole step probably. Ugh, sounds awful. But anyways, I'm basically starting a whole step below actual pitch. You can't really do that on a classical mouthpiece. They're designed in fact to not do that. Specifically to not do that. So yeah, okay, so that's a big stylistic thing. All right, let me look ahead a little bit to where's the shout chorus kind of section. That's a long score. Okay.
Goes back to the head at the end. And
Yeah, I'm looking
everybody's
for
in
like
at the end of the solo.
second, 8th kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay. Well, yeah, okay, I see it. That's the wah-wah, that's not really what I want. Okay, yes, in the melody, and this goes for whoever's playing the melody, trumpet 3 and alto, and those, whenever you have the 2 8th notes on the down beat 4 and the and 4, so like in measure 11, and in measure 8 or 7. Dr. Carper, I have a different way of explaining, but he told me to tell you guys to go da da da, shut up. That's how you play 2 8th notes in a row. Not shut up. You guys kind of went da da da. They were a little bit detached. And you want them to be really just nasty and bluesy, and so. Yeah. And you should probably scoop into that note too a little bit. Not as much as the quarter notes because they don't last as long. But they don't write that in there, but I'm pretty sure if you listen to it, they might scoop it and maybe they don't. Not hard to say, but that's why you go to listen to the recording, just to make sure. But not gotta be really smooth and connected. Okay? 8th notes when you're playing jazz, unless they're marked otherwise, are always touching. So a great way, when I clinic bands, I have them work on 8th note style, swing 8th note style, is like play something that you know, like let's take a scale and go. Another one I really like is Clark Studies, and if you guys do, in band you go. Well, in jazz band you go. You're kind of putting accents in and all that, and all the notes are connected together. That's a great way to just kind of work on jazz style. So you're playing stuff that you already know how to play. So you're not dealing with fingers and all that. You're just trying to apply a different style, a way of playing it. Okay. So let's run a bit of hobo flats from the top. Okay. Yeah. So here we go. Here.
We were actually doing a lot faster. Like we were referencing the Oliver Nelson recording.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, that didn't seem right. Well, it said 80 on there. So, okay. Yeah. Right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2.
still could do more.
Do more. I'd rather tell you that you're doing it too much, and that you need to take it easy on that. Okay? Like that would be a compliment, and it would make my day to tell you, hey, dude, you're overdoing the style. Easy. Okay. Hey man, what's your name? Daniel. So and you're playing on the little pea shooter. You don't have a trigger, right? And you're trying to 6 and 7. I mean, it's pretty rough. I don't know. I'm not a trombone player, but I don't know. Maybe play it up an octave or something. It'll just sound better, even if it doesn't say to do that. Because I'm looking over here, and he's just going, he's like not doing anything. And you're out here, and your bell. Okay, so first of all, down low, it's going to be kind of muddy sounding. It's going to be hard, especially on the tenor trombone. It's going to be hard. And plus, you're aiming down at the floor. So it's not like this. Instead of like this, there's just no clarity in it. And it's just going to be hard to be clear anyways. But the trumpets, you guys did a good job of having your bells facing me, they're facing the audience. And the trombone, and I'm sorry, I don't have all the names, but your bell height was pretty good, but the guys on the end, you guys are definitely lower and down. So you got to get these bells up so that your sound projects forward. I literally, I play big band gigs here and there, and I've taken, I'll be sitting in the second tenor chair, and I've taken a slide to the back of the head before from the trombone section. But it's just part of it's one of our plights that we have to deal with as a sax section. But their bells are up. If they're, aim at his head. Don't hit him, but literally make that be a goal. Like it should be up here, and we're gonna hear you so much better. Okay? Because you play well, so it's a shame that your sound is going to the floor. You know what I mean? Okay. All right. Casey. Your name. Okay. The snare. Your hi-hat's actually pretty good. Let me hear you just hear your hi-hat. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Yeah, you get your heel off the floor, and you're stepping into it, like with the ball of your foot. Yeah, that, you guys, I don't know if you all realize, but that's the heartbeat, that's the metronome, that's what everyone should be listening to. That's the time. That's a major part. The bass is the other thing that you hopefully is together and listen. Okay, the snare drum. You shouldn't be playing 2 and 4 on the snare drum, I don't think. And they all judges gave me mention, and we concurred. So the snare drum is really there for color, meaning it's tricky technically to do. I want you to go back and listen to the recording and listen to the snare. Only the snare. Put the recording on and don't listen to anything else. Don't listen to the trumpets, the saxophones, or the kick drum, or the hi-hat. Just listen to what the snare does the whole time. You want to be using the snare to fill a little bit here and there, and then also reinforcing the rhythms that the band's playing. That's really what it's for. Okay. The 2 and 4 on the snare is a very common thing we hear with young jazz bands, but professional drummers wouldn't be doing it. Not nearly to the amount that you're doing. They might do it here and there, but it's not really. Maybe on like like when it's really rocking and there's a shout chorus or something, but not like on a kind of the mellow head at the top. So kind of like just take it away. For now. Just don't even hit the snare drum until there's like a figure that you're playing with the band. But when we're just cruising along, just kind of leave it alone. Okay. Yeah, that was better. I mean, again, and the trumpets. Let me hear the trumpets play the melody really quick. I want to hear and see how you guys do those bends. Are you like half valving it? Just using? Okay. Probably should be, if you can. I don't think you can. I'm not a trumpet teacher player, but they'll like stick the valve halfway down. So you're playing constant B flat is the first note? So what would that be? Like B natural is like second valve? Like a half step below that note? Yes?
I'm not a trumpet player.
Oh! Nice!
I don't really
You fooled me. What do you guys play?
French
Oh, okay, well, it kind of works the same way, sort of, ish. Okay, no, I'm sorry, they're concert E flats, right? Not concert B flats. So play me concert E flat. Pull it out, here, F. Yeah, right. So, I don't know, whatever the half step below that is, an E natural, which I think is open, right?
So you can figure it open or you can figure one
tune, go. You can try it. It'll help the bend be a little better. Just try that real quick. See if you can get. Yeah. But like a little, like less like a grace note, more like a, you know. Yeah, it's tough. But if you combine that with the plunger, we'd get it more of a. Yeah, it's tough. It reads so soft. So that's what we want. So, I hate to tell you this, go on and figure it out, but I mean, that's about all I can do for you. But let me hear the trumpets. Stop. One, just trumpets. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Ready, go. 1. 4, 1. 1. That's pretty good. Y'all like that? It sounds pretty good. It's such a cool sound, right? We can't do that kind of stuff on saxophone. All right. Yes. And then, let's see where we're at doing on time. Yeah, we're getting low. Let's just stick with that. I mean, are there any issues that you guys have on that, like you were curious about on the other teams at all? Or we can just stick with hobo.
What about the comping, like this whole section in red clay?
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
You
Any comments about that
mean
one?
rhythmic or harmonic? Or both?
Probably rhythmic more than harmonic.
Yeah, well, let's run the solo section. And let's see. Okay, so. Hey, and some of the bass notes on the turnaround thing, booty, booty. I don't know if the bass and the barrier are playing the same notes all the time. Well, they're supposed to be. I just don't think it would work. So we might want to check that out too. That booty, booty. I don't really remember what the notes are personally, but might want to check that out too. But yeah, let's take it from the solo. So where's that letter B?
C?
C. Okay. So D. This is good. D. One. Who wants? Let's actually just not have a solos. 1, 2. 1, 2. Ready, go. But now comping, the trick though of comping is at a more advanced pro level, the guitar or the piano, whoever's comping, is not going to do the same thing the whole time. They're going to react to what the soloist does. So they're going to change. You know, if the soloist starts doing something, they're going to react and play something that is like a call and response to maybe what the soloist does. So they might leave the general pattern. But as far as a general pattern, as long as you play that in time, I think that works fine. And especially hitting that whatever that figure is. Yeah, that thing, like you did, it's great. So I think that's functional, you know. But it can change if you get really good at this and you start listening to what the soloist plays. You can do something that like communicates that, hey, I heard what you just did. And yeah, I'm gonna like play what you just played. Now that's tough to do. Speaking of your solos, I was actually very impressed with your solos. They were all very simple and clear. I talked a lot about this on your recording, and I want to spend a minute about it because it's probably one of the most valuable things I ever learned when I was in college. And it was, so, you know, I took jazz improvisation class, or, you know, every 4 semesters or whatever. So we had it on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You walk in on Monday, and they give you a syllabus at the beginning of the semester. It said, okay, so on Monday, March 23rd, you have to walk in and know how to play right clay. You have to know how to play the melody. You have to be able to arpeggiate the chord changes, and by memory. Like, they didn't even teach you that. You just had to have already prepared that. So you walk in on Monday, and everybody plays the head, and they would record it, and you would play a solo, all right? And then you'd walk out of class with a recording of what you just played. And then we had to go home and transcribe, you know what I mean by transcribe? We had to notate our solos that we played. And then we had to show up on Wednesday, hand in the transcription, and then sing our solos. Not play them, sing them in class in front of everybody. Okay, so the singing part, you're probably like, ugh, that gives me anxiety. Well, the worst, any idea why they made you do that? Why they made us do that? You probably wouldn't understand it until you try to do it. One of the things that young improvisers don't do well is play clear rhythms. So you're sitting down there and you're listening like, what am I, like, that's not even a rhythm. Like, how do I write that out? Like, I just played 7 notes in one beat. You know, I mean, yeah, you could write a 16th note rhyme with a 7 over it, but that's not really what you were trying to do. You were just, I called it flailing. I was just flailing and hoping I played something that sounded cool. But you guys actually did a pretty good job of like, I could easily transcribe, or you guys could probably easily transcribe most of those solos that you guys played today. And that's actually a good thing. And I would encourage you to actually make that an exercise. Maybe you guys go home and you listen to the whole concert you did, and everyone votes, the band votes on what was the favorite solo that someone played in the band. And y'all vote on it, and then everybody goes home and writes it down. Writes out the solo and then brings it back, and it's a great exercise. But when you know you're going to be having to write out what you're playing, it makes you a lot more conscious of what you're doing, because if you're just playing sloppy rhythms that there's going to be incredibly difficult to write down, it's going to make the exercise take so much longer. Some of the hardest solos I've ever transcribed are difficult because of the rhythmic stuff, not the notes. Because there's only 12 notes. There's only 12 notes, but there's infinite rhythms, you know. So, but yeah, that's definitely something that you guys seem to do well. And almost to the point, and I think it was on your solo, what was your name, man? Sebastian. Right, Sebastian, like, you played a lot of quarters and eighth notes, and it was clear. And I think I suggested to you, hey, like, try to work on throwing in a triplet every once in a while, you know. You know, like, just throw one of those in every once, like, not all the time, but like, that's like your next thing. Or maybe. What did I just play there? It was pretty clear. Yeah, rhythmically, what were they? I went boo-ba-da-ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da. What is that rhythm? Not notes. What rhythm? Was it a whole note? Not quite. I went da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yes, so what is that? 2 16th notes and an eighth note. Twice. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. But if I went blah, you would have been like, I don't know what he just played. If I would have played something really not on what we call on the grid, rhythm players talk about the grid. You know, it's like the metronome. This is the grid. And we have da 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 da. If you kind of just stick to those basic 4 rhythms, he mentioned 16th note triplets. That would have been ba-da-da, ba-da-da. That would have been a little quicker. It would have been, I wouldn't have been landing on the upbeat. I would have been landing before it. So anyways, like, stick to those rhythms that are on the grid, and it's, then start thinking about, what am I hearing? It took you guys to figure, you could play that rhythm no problem if I put it in front of you, but you hear it, do you know what it is? And that's kind of a different thing. So that's why transcribing solos, like simple solos, not professional solos yet, you know, like your own solo. It's a really, really helpful exercise. It's a humbling exercise though. And there were some times where I was like, I can't believe I played that. That was terrible. And I don't know how to write this down. Like, there was times where I just couldn't write it out. It was a total mess. So, anybody have any questions for me before we wrap up? So, okay. Well, you guys are doing good. I mean, how often do you guys rehearse? Nice. You guys are lucky. Like, one of the bands I clinic regularly, they only rehearse So it's nice that you guys have that luxury, so. Okey doke.
Thank you.
All right, well, thanks, guys.